You end things with Vanessa. We will acknowledge the boy. He is our blood, but his mother will not be involved. I proposed to Vanessa. You did what? Over my dead body. You will not bring that woman into this family.
The house had settled into its familiar evening quiet. From the far end of the hallway came the faint scratch of a pencil. Benjamin was in his room, hunched over his desk, murmuring to himself as he worked on his school project. Every now and then, he paused to think aloud, completely absorbed. In the kitchen, Vanessa stood at the stove, staring absent-mindedly. She felt Vincent before she turned around. He wasn't hovering, at least not deliberately, but he lingered. Each time she shifted, he adjusted too, leaning against the counter, standing near the doorway, watching her with an intensity that made her skin prickle. Finally, she stopped staring. She turned slowly. "What do you want?" she asked. Her tone wasn't sharp, just firm. "You've been following me since you walked in." Vincent straightened. "I'm not." He stopped himself and exhaled. "I just want to talk to you." Vanessa raised an eyebrow. "About Benjamin?" "No," he said quietly. "About us. About the past." Her shoulders stiffened. "There is no us, Vincent." "I know," he said quickly. "I know there isn't, but there was, and I owe you the truth. I owe you an explanation, whether you forgive me or not." She studied him for a long moment, then turned back to the stove and lowered the heat. "All right, talk. Let me hear what you have to say." There was a pause before he spoke. "I denied you because I was afraid," Vincent said, his voice low. "Afraid of my parents, afraid of losing everything they controlled, afraid of being cut off, of becoming nothing overnight. I was 17 and I thought survival meant obedience." She let out a bitter laugh. "And I was 16 and survival meant standing alone." He winced but didn't interrupt. "I never stopped loving you," he continued. "Not when I left, not when I was abroad, not even when I tried to convince myself I'd done the right thing. I thought about you constantly. I wondered how you were, if you were safe, if you hated me." She turned then, eyes blazing. "You wondered," she said quietly, "while you were abroad, living comfortably, studying, building a future?" Her voice rose, years of restraint cracking open. "Do you know what happened to me after you denied knowing me? Do you know what it felt like to stand there while your family looked at me like debt, like I was nothing, like my child was a mistake that needed to be erased?" Vincent's throat tightened. "My mother cried," Vanessa went on. "She cried because she was disappointed in me. I was all she had, and she raised me better than to get pregnant for a man who wouldn't even claim me." She stepped closer, her voice steady but heavy. "People talked. They mocked me. They whispered when I passed. Some laughed, some pitied me. Every single one of them judged." Her breath hitched slightly. "I was pregnant and working 2 jobs. 2, she said. My feet were swollen, my body was exhausted. There were days I could barely stand, and the only person who helped me was my mother." She swallowed hard. "I didn't go to university, Vincent. I couldn't. I had a child to raise. I had no safety net, no powerful parent, no money waiting for me abroad." Tears burned her eyes, but she refused to let them fall. "And while I was struggling to survive," she said quietly, "you were living the life your parents secured for you." Vincent bowed his head. He didn't speak. He didn't defend himself. He listened. "I loved you," she said softly, "and you denied knowing me. That broke something in me, not just my heart, my belief in people, in promises." She turned away, gripping the counter. For a long moment, the only sound was Benjamin shifting in his room. Then Vincent spoke, his voice thick. "I am so sorry," he said. "I was wrong. I failed you. I failed our son, and I will regret it for the rest of my life." she didn't turn. I can't change what I did, but I want to spend the rest of my life trying to make it right, if you'll let me. Even if the chance is small, even if it takes years. He hesitated. Could you ever forgive me? Vanessa closed her eyes. Forgiveness still felt far away, but for the first time, she didn't feel the need to shut him completely out. I don't know, she said honestly. Some wounds don't disappear just because the truth is finally spoken. He nodded. I'm prepared to wait, no matter how long it takes. She looked at him then, not with anger, not with longing, but with something new, cautious openness. I'll try, she said quietly. And if you hurt me again, Vincent, there will be no second chance. I understand, he replied. And for the first time since that denial all those years ago, she believed that he truly did. Weeks later, Vanessa leaned against the counter, arms crossed loosely, still tense but no longer guarded. Vincent stood a few feet away, hands resting lightly on the edge of the table, eyes searching hers for permission to speak. Can I ask something personal? Go ahead. He nodded, stepping closer, though cautiously. I've been thinking about you, about how you managed raising Ben alone. How did you cope? Did you hate me? Did you wish you'd never met me? Vanessa let out a small, bitter laugh and shook her head. I won't lie, she whispered. When you denied knowing me, a part of me hated you. I was angry, furious with you, furious with myself for being so trusting, so gullible, for ruining my future, for being stuck with a child without a father, for disappointing my mother. I was frustrated, angry at the world for treating me so badly, like I'd committed some unforgivable sin. But I tried to let it go. I didn't want to carry the burden of hate. Vincent's chest tightened. And the fear, the struggle? She looked down, tracing a line on the counter with her finger. Some days were unbearable. I cried more than I smiled. I wondered if I could do it, if I could raise him the way he deserved. But I had to. I had no choice, and my mother was my backbone. He nodded slowly. You were brave, more than I could have imagined, and you didn't just survive. You gave him a childhood worth remembering. Vanessa's eyes flicked up at his, cautious but soft. I did what I had to do. He's my world, Vincent. Everything I sacrificed, it was for him. Vincent swallowed, voice low. You don't have to give up on yourself either. Vanessa furrowed her brow. What do you mean? If you still want to go to university, I'll make sure it happens, he said quietly. I know I can't undo the past. I can't give you the years you missed, but I can help you now. You don't have to set your dreams aside because of me or because of what happened. Vanessa blinked, caught off guard. She hesitated, weighing honesty against caution. I've thought about it sometimes, studying again, going back, but it feels strange. I've been so focused on Ben, on keeping us afloat, surviving. It almost feels selfish to think about myself now. Vincent stepped closer, lowering his voice. It's not selfish, Vanessa. You gave up so much. You deserve the chance to live the life you wanted before all of this happened. She looked at him, really looked. There was no arrogance in his eyes, no expectation, but only sincerity and a quiet determination to make amends. I don't know, she admitted cautiously. I need time, but I won't lie. The idea of going back, of finishing what I started is tempting. And maybe I don't have to be afraid of failing anymore. Vincent gave her a small, tentative smile. Then we'll take it one step at a time, together. No pressure, no demands. Just support if you want it. Vanessa's lips curved slightly, a fragile but genuine smile. I think I'd like that. Slowly, carefully. Vincent nodded. Slowly and carefully. That's all I ask. For the first time in years, the weight between them shifted. It wasn't gone, but it felt lighter. Things between Vincent and Vanessa gradually improved. Slowly, carefully. Carefully, Vanessa began to let go of the hurt and allowed him back into her life, one step at a time. They spent more time together. Sometimes they talked about Benjamin, his stubborn streak, his sharp intelligence, the way he pretended not to care, even though Vincent's presence meant more to him than he would ever admit. Other times, they talked about nothing at all. One evening, Vanessa laughed, a guardless, genuine sound at something Vincent said. They both froze for a half second, surprised by it. Vincent smiled, not triumphantly, just quietly. There were setbacks, days when Vanessa pulled back, days when old anger resurfaced without warning. Vincent never argued with it. He never demanded explanations. He simply gave her space when she needed it and kept showing up, again and again. Over time, Vanessa began to relax in his presence. His visits became routine, familiar, safe. On one occasion, Vincent invited Vanessa and Benjamin to his house. Soon enough, the three of them began to spend time together. Months later, on a quiet evening, Benjamin was spending the weekend with a friend. The apartment felt strangely spacious without him. Vanessa moved around the living room, tidying up out of habit more than necessity. Vincent sat on the couch, watching her. Not the way he once had years ago, full of assumptions, but with patience and awareness. He had been quiet all evening. Too quiet. Is something wrong? Vanessa asked finally, setting a folded blanket aside. Vincent inhaled slowly. No, nothing's wrong. He hesitated, then stood. Actually, there's something I want to say. Her heart skipped, instinctively bracing itself. Okay. He didn't reach for her. He didn't kneel. He didn't pull out a ring. Not yet. I've thought about this for a long time, he began, his voice steady but thick with emotion. And every time I thought I was ready, I realized I wasn't. Not because I didn't want you, but because I didn't want to ask you for something I hadn't earned. She watched him closely, guarded but listening. I broke you once, he continued. I left you to carry pain that should have been shared. I denied you when you needed me most, and no amount of love today can erase that. Her throat tightened. But what I can do, he said, stepping closer, is choose you every day going forward. Not as a scared boy, not as someone hiding behind his parents' power, but as a man who knows exactly what he stands to lose if he ever fails you again. He reached into his pocket then, but instead of dropping to one knee, he placed the ring gently on the table between them. I'm not asking you to forget, he said softly. I'm not asking you to pretend the past didn't happen. He met her eyes fully. I'm asking you if you will let me spend the rest of my life making sure you never have to stand alone again. If you will let me love you openly, fiercely, without shame. If you will let me be your partner, not your savior, not your apology, but your equal. Vanessa's breath trembled. And if you say no, he added quietly, I will still be grateful, because loving you again has already been a gift I never deserved. Silence stretched between them. Then Vanessa reached for the ring, not to put it on, but to hold it in her palm. You know, the old me would have said yes immediately. She believed promises easily. Vincent swallowed. But this me, she continued, her voice steady, needed time, needed proof, needed truth. She looked up at him. And you gave me all of that. Tears slid down her cheeks as she laughed quietly. You showed up, you stayed, you listened, you became the man I once hoped you'd be. She placed the ring back on the table, then gently pushed it toward him. Ask me properly, she said. Vincent's breath caught. He sank to one knee then, not because tradition demanded it, but because his heart did. Vanessa, will you marry me and let me spend forever proving that choosing you is the best decision I ever made? She didn't hesitate this time. Yes, she whispered. Yes, Vincent. When he slid the ring on her finger, her hands were shaking. They held each other then, not desperately, not fearfully, but with quiet certainty. They had survived the worst, and they chose each other anyway. Benjamin came home the next afternoon with his backpack slung over one shoulder, still talking to himself about a video game tournament he had nearly won at his friend's place. The apartment felt different, quieter, lighter. He paused just inside the door, frowning slightly, as if his instincts had picked up on something his mind hadn't yet processed. He dropped his bag by the wall and walked toward the living room. That was when he saw them. Vincent and Vanessa sat side by side on the couch, not touching but close, comfortable, like people who no longer needed to explain themselves. Benjamin slowed. His eyes moved from one face to the other. "Why are you both looking at me like that?" he asked, suspicion creeping into his voice. Vanessa smiled, not the careful smile she wore when she was nervous, but a soft, steady one. "Ben," she said gently, patting the seat beside her. "Come sit." He didn't. His shoulders tensed. "What happened?" Vincent exchanged a brief glance with Vanessa, then cleared his throat. "We wanted to tell you together." Benjamin folded his arms. "Tell me what?" Vanessa took a breath. "Vincent and I," she said slowly, "we're getting married." The words landed, but Benjamin didn't react immediately. He blinked once, then twice. "Married?" Vincent nodded. "Engaged, and we wanted you to be the first to know." Benjamin's gaze dropped to Vanessa's hand. The ring caught the light. For a moment, he said nothing. Then his jaw tightened. His eyes lifted straight to Vincent, the man who had once denied his mother. Benjamin crossed his arms more firmly, a faint smirk tugging at the edge of his serious face. "So," he said quietly, "this means you are staying." Vincent leaned forward. "Yes, I'm not going anywhere. Not from you, not from your mother." Benjamin studied him for a second long. Then, without warning, he crossed the room and shoved Vincent lightly, half hug, half punch to the shoulder. More of a test than affection. "Don't screw this up," he muttered, a small grin breaking through. Vincent laughed softly, lifting his hands in surrender. "I won't, I promise, Ben." Benjamin stepped back, brushing imaginary dust off his shirt, still half smiling. "You better not," he said, his tone carrying a quiet warning. "Because if you hurt her again," he shook his head, "you'll regret it." Vanessa watched them, her chest tight with emotion. The bond between father and son had grown slowly, carefully, and seeing it unfold so naturally now felt almost unreal. Benjamin's expression softened. "I'm glad you stayed, Dad. Please, don't hurt her again. Don't let me down." Vincent reached out, ruffling his son's hair gently. "Never," he said. "I'll spend the rest of my life making sure I don't." Benjamin swallowed. Something inside him finally broke, not into anger, but relief. He released a breath he hadn't realized he'd been holding. He hesitated, then stepped forward and wrapped his arms around his mother first, then, after a brief pause, around Vincent too. And for the first time, it truly felt like they were a family. Chief Eze didn't knock. The glass door to Vincent's office swung open sharply, slicing through the low hum of the air conditioner. Vincent looked up from his desk, calm, already knowing who it was. "Father," he said evenly. Chief Eze stepped inside, his presence filling the room like a gathering storm. His expensive agbada sat flawlessly on his broad frame, every fold precise, but his face was rigid, controlled. He closed the door behind him and clasped his hands behind his back, the posture of a man used to command. "I spoke with Chelsea and her parents," he said coldly. "They are willing to continue with the engagement, despite your situation." Vincent said nothing. "Consider yourself fortunate," Chief Eze continued. "Such an exceptional woman from a respected family is willing to overlook your mistakes on one condition." Vincent leaned back slightly. "Which is?" "You end things with Vanessa," Chief Eze said flatly. "We will acknowledge the boy, he is our blood, but his mother will not be involved." Vincent rose slowly from his chair. "Overlook my mistakes," he asked quietly. "What mistakes are you referring to?" Chief Eze's eyes narrowed. Do not play smart with me." "I'm not," Vincent replied, stepping round the desk. "Benjamin is not a mistake, and Vanessa is not something you discard because she's inconvenient." Chifeze scoffed. "You are letting sentiment cloud your judgment. You have a future, power, legacy. My future is not yours to trade, and my legacy will not be built on denying my own family. You will throw away everything we built for a woman who trapped you with a child," Chifeze thundered. "That woman is the only woman I have ever loved. The woman who raised our son alone while I was young and afraid, and while you made sure fear ruled every decision I took." Silence settled between them, heavy and charged. Then Vincent spoke again. "I proposed to Vanessa." The words detonated. "You did what?" Chifeze demanded. "She said yes," Vincent replied calmly. "I am marrying her, and Benjamin will grow up knowing his father stood by him this time." Chifeze slammed his palm against the desk. "Over my dead body, you will not bring that woman into this family." "With all due respect, Dad," Vincent said quietly, "this is no longer your decision." Chifeze spun toward the door, yanking it open, then froze. Benjamin sat in the reception area, backpack at his feet, waiting patiently. For a long moment, Chifeze simply stared. The resemblance was unmistakable. The same sharp jaw, the same dark, assessing eyes. It was like looking at Vincent years ago. Blood called to blood. Benjamin met his gaze calmly, unflinching, unaware of the storm he had just stepped into. Chifeze swallowed hard. Without a word, he walked past the boy and out of the office. His stride slower than before, certainty fractured, pride shaken. The wedding was intimate by design. No grand ballroom, no society spectacle, just a sunlit garden, soft music, and people who truly mattered. Vanessa's mother sat in the front row, tears slipping freely down her cheeks, not of sadness, but of relief. For her, this was not just a wedding, it was justice, long delayed and finally arrived. Vanessa stood radiant in simple elegance. No excess, no need to prove anything. Every step she took was steady, earned. When Vincent saw her, his breath caught. This wasn't triumph, it was gratitude. Benjamin stood beside them, taller now, composed in his suit, watching with quiet pride, not as an afterthought, as family. When Vincent spoke his vows, his voice didn't waver. "I failed you once," he said, eyes locked on Vanessa's. "I will never fail you again." Vanessa didn't cry. She smiled, the kind born of survival, not fantasy. When she said yes, it wasn't forgiveness of the past. It was faith in the present. Benjamin clapped first, loudest. The Ezes did not attend. The absence was noticed, but it did not diminish the day. 3 days later, the call came. Benjamin sat at the dining table, bent over his homework when his phone buzzed. Unknown number. "Hello?" A pause. Then a breath. Older, heavier. Benjamin." He straightened. "Yes?" "It's Chifeze." Then he added, "Your grandfather." Silence stretched. "I didn't know you had my number," Benjamin said finally. "I asked your father for it." He hesitated. I insisted. That told Benjamin everything. "What do you want from me?" he asked bluntly. "I wanted to congratulate you," Chifeze said, "on the wedding." "You didn't come." "I know." Another pause. "I was hoping that someday we could talk, just the two of us." Benjamin understood what was left unsaid. His mother was still the problem. "I don't know," he said honestly. "I'll think about it. That's all I ask." The call ended. Benjamin sat the phone down and stared at the table. From the kitchen came the sound of his mother humming, soft, familiar. From the living room, Vincent laughed, unguarded at something on television. Benjamin stood. Whatever the past wanted from him could wait. Today, he chose the present. He chose the parents who had fought their way back together. He chose the home they were building, slowly, honestly. The past had taken enough. And for now, that was enough. Subscribe and follow for more African stories, African tales, English stories, and tales by moonlight.